Creations Committee, which is really nice. I always wanted to chair the Approach Committee.
I'll volunteer.
At this time, I'd like to yield to Mr. Thompson from Pennsylvania.
Mr. Chairman, I'll second that motion. Yeah. I want to thank the chairman and ranking member for this opportunity with this hearing. It's really important. And Madam Secretary, thank you so much for being here and for your obvious passion in this area that we're talking about today. I want to go revisit a little bit on food safety. Obviously, it's incredibly important for consumers, and frankly, it's important for producers as well, because one isolated scare in some region of the country can, or even a false scare can devastate the producer, the whole market, and so we have an obligation to protect certainly consumers and also producers. Given the recent scares about foodborne illness, what steps is USDA taking to work with producers to reduce even minimal risk of foodborne illness from consumption of specialty crops?
In early June, we received from the industry a proposal for a leafy green marketing order. Some of you may be aware of that. Came from California, where they do have such a plan in place. When we have a whole marketing order program. We also have quality grade standards, maybe as many as 320 now for specialty crops, where industry really proposes to us what they think those standards should be, and we codify them and help them in the enforcement of those. But the latest on the scene is this leafy green marketing order because of some of the concerns that came up around E. coli in spinach out in California a couple of years back now, I guess it was. And when we receive a proposal like that from industry, it triggers a series of events that we do at USDA, and this would go to the Agricultural Marketing Service. I used to be the administrator there during the Clinton years, so this is I love this agency. Anyhow, so the agency will hold a series of public meetings around the country where people can give their input as we decide how to shape this marketing agreement and whether or not to put it in place. It's voluntary, but that said, if enough of the big players actually are in it, then while it's voluntary, it becomes de facto the law of the land. And so as we have these hearings over the course of this next year, we're going to want to hear a lot about whether or not this marketing order is going to fit all sizes of operations. I mean, safety is not something that only big guys have to adhere to, or, there's no exceptions depending upon your size or your region. Everyone has to uphold high safety standards, of course, but we want to make sure that these programs that we put out are everyone in the agricultural enterprise are able to meet them. And if not, then we need to reconfigure them so everybody is able to upgrade food safety and still remain competitive in the marketplace.
Great. Well, I mean, with your testimony, I hear you talking about things that USDA is doing with, partnership with the industry and education and consumer input. And I have to tell you, those are the types of things that gives me a lot of confidence, actually, in the USDA related to food safety. And frankly, some of the concerns I have with some current legislation that was defeated yesterday is coming back, I think, today in terms of specifically with specialty crops and food safety shifting to the FDA versus USDA. What steps are underway, if any, at USDA to coordinate further improvements in food safety for specialty crops?
Well, we have work that we're doing in microbiological, testing. We have a program in place both for pesticides and for microbiological contaminants where we go out and we actually get produce from supermarkets. So we play the role of citizen, any mom or dad who goes into the supermarket and gets their food. And then we bring these back to the laboratory and we test them. And we collect data that's on our website that's publicly available to people of all shapes and sizes to analyze. And we use these programs to identify hotspots, emerging problems. And I think these are very important programs that we will continue and grow in the next couple of years to help us make sound decisions.
Thank you. It seems to me that USDA is well positioned to do that too, because you have a presence in almost every county and in the
We have a few employees.
in the country. Yeah, you know, and have been there for support our agriculture community from many different perspectives, and obviously representing the consumers as well. So, just another good reason to make sure that we keep that food safety responsibility with USDA and strengthen what you're doing. And Mr. Chairman, it looks like my time's expired, and thank you.